Hello everybody. We are going to be ranking about, basically every, main character in SpongeBob based on the ones that I like and the ones that I hate. So it's basically based on how much I like a character or how much I hate them. So so these are the tiers S, A, B, C, D, E, F. So first of all, I'm not going to be ranking any side characters because they're not that important to the show, and also there's a lot of them. So I'm going to overall just rank the characters we usually see most of the time. So first of all, we got Patrick. And, Patrick's an okay character. I feel like sometimes his dumb humor can make some really good comedy. But overall, he's not the most interesting character, so I feel like for now I'm going to put him in B. I might put him up to A, but for now I think I'm just going to leave him in B. Plankton? Okay. Look. This is a pretty controversial opinion. I don't think it's that controversial, but in my opinion, I think Plankton is the best character in SpongeBob. And you don't want to know why? Well, here's the thing about our buddy Plankton. He's really smart. Sure, okay, look. Sure, he's a villain. But here's the thing. I feel like he has, a lot of potential. I feel like he just has a lot of potential in the series because of how smart he is and just how interesting he is at times. But I just feel like he has a lot of potential in the series. But I'm not gonna lie, his whole, Krabby Patty secret formula fiasco of him just stealing it every day at the freaking Krusty Krab is getting kind of old, but overall, I think he has a lot of potential besides the Krabby Patty secret formula. And I think that could make him a really good character, so I think he just has a lot of potential in general, so I think that's why he deserves to be in S tier. That's why I think he's probably the best character in SpongeBob, in my opinion. Okay. We got the Flying Dutchman, and okay, I know there's a lot of people that like this character, but okay, sure, I like him, but, there's nothing about him that's, super interesting. He's a green ghost that's kind of a pirate / captain of a ghost ship or something. He's kind of weird, sometimes he's evil, but sometimes he's good, or just okay in some episodes. But that's about it with him, honestly. So, since he's not really too interesting, even though he's a green ghost, and he's a captain of a ship, and he's, a pirate, he's just not that interesting to me. So I think he deserves a C tier. He's really interesting, but, he doesn't really got much going for him, which makes him which makes him not really interesting. I know that doesn't really make sense, but, I just don't think he's that interesting. So I put him in C. Okay. So next character we got the man, the myth, the man who runs the show basically. His name is Spongebob Squarepants. Spinge Binge Squarepants. So, where do I rank the man who basically is the main character of the whole show? I think SpongeBob deserves to be an A tier. And you're probably thinking, hey, why are you not gonna put him in S tier? Well, here's the thing. Sometimes he can be stupid. Sometimes he can be as stupid as Patrick, and even sometimes he's even stupider than Patrick. But that was more in the mid seasons, the shitty season 6 to 9 episodes. Those episodes fucking suck. I feel like when it got to season 10, that's when it started to mellow out and it started to get a lot better. As soon as season 10 hit, it got a lot better, in my opinion. I just think, in my opinion, season 6 to 9 is just terrible. But I'm not talking about seasons. I'm talking about characters. So overall, I think SpongeBob deserves an A. It's just sometimes he's done some questionable things, even though he cares about Gary, sometimes there's these episodes where he doesn't really care that much about his own pet sometimes, which is kind of weird, so. But I think he still deserves an A, because overall, he's a good character. He's a nice and respectable guy. So I think he deserves A, even though he's done some questionable things. Okay. Next, we got Squidward Q Tentacles. And, okay, I actually like Squidward. And look, I know that's a little bit controversial because some people really like Squidward, but here's the thing. Squidward is relatable as hell. Like, Squidward is the most relatable character in the show, honestly. Like, he can relate to a lot of people, honestly, especially the adults that watch the show. Because okay, sure. He's pretty grumpy and he's pretty mean, but most of the time people are just kicking him into the dirt most of the time. Most of the time people treat him bad, if you think about it. Like, SpongeBob always breaks into his fucking house. And even, like, tries to annoy him for no reason with Patrick. I kind of feel bad for him. I think I might put him over Patrick. Like, I just think that he's I feel like he's not the one annoying people. Or making everything... I mean, he is kind of a vibe killer, but come on. He's probably in a really stressful situation. But here's the difference between Squidward and SpongeBob. Both of them see different things about the situation. Like, SpongeBob takes the situation as fun, and he doesn't really care that much, and he lives his life normally. Meanwhile, Squidward takes it really seriously, and he's kind of depressed. But overall, I think Squidward is a pretty relatable character, and I just kind of feel bad for him, so I'll put him in B, honestly. I'm not going to put him in A or S because he's kind of mean to people, and he's just kind of grumpy in general, so I think I'll put him in B. I think that's where he deserves. I think he's higher than Patrick because Squidward just is more interesting than Patrick, in my opinion. Okay, so we got Mrs. Puff, and she's the driving instructor who has to go through literally SpongeBob's pain. How is she still teaching SpongeBob how to drive the boat? Like, hasn't she been teaching this man to drive the boat ever since, like, 1999? And to this day, in 2021, she probably still can't even get this man to even drive properly for 1 second. Like, the only episode where we actually saw SpongeBob good at driving was the episode where Mrs. Puff was introduced, which was in season 1. I'm pretty sure that was, like, the first time SpongeBob ever oh, wait, no, because when Mrs. Puff saw him, she was like, oh, not again. But that was the first time we ever saw, like, Mrs. Puff with SpongeBob and driving in the car. But overall, I kind of just feel bad for her, just like Squidward. And honestly, just the fact that she'll still get in the car with SpongeBob and try to teach him is just incredible to me, so I think she deserves a C tier, though. She's not the most interesting character, so I think she'll deserve a C tier. I actually think she's more interesting than the Flying Dutchman. Sorry to the Flying Dutchman fans. Okay. Yeah, I think she deserves a C tier. Okay, so we got Gary. And, Gary's kind of a... Okay, look. Some people like to rate Gary because of bias, just because of how cute he is, but overall, his personality is pretty dimensional. I mean, there's nothing really interesting about him, but just because he can sometimes be pretty interesting in some episodes, even though most of the time he doesn't really do that much for the episodes. Sometimes he can be really interesting, though, so I think overall he deserves an 8. I think he deserves to be right next to SpongeBob because of how interesting he can be sometimes. And honestly, Gary hasn't really ever done anything bad. I mean, sometimes he'll bite people, but overall, he's pretty much just a good snail. He doesn't really do anything bad, so I say A tier because he's just fine, you know? He doesn't do anything bad. At least I don't think he does. I hope not. Okay, we got money, 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 money. That was a terrible Mr. Krabs impression, especially when I went It kind of sounded like a weird Mr. Krabs and Plankton version, which was an actual episode. Okay, anyways. Mr. Krabs. But I think the part when I was like, money, 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 that wasn't too bad. It wasn't really that bad, you know. Could have been better, though. Okay, where does Mr. Krabs deserve to go? I think he kind of deserves the D tier because, I mean, this man can be really mean in episodes, I swear, like he can be so rude to the other characters, and also, most of the time, he's just seen as greedy and just cheap in general. I never really found him that interesting, I mean, it seems like he's kind of a good guy, a little bit, because of the fact that he fought in, like, the Navy, and he was known as Armor Abs Krabs, and he was kind of seen as a hero back then, but, like, nowadays, he just kind of just robs people and just steals their money. But I feel like just because he used to be a good guy, and he did a lot of things back in the day that made him good. And overall, I don't really like him that much. He's not very interesting, so I think he deserves to be the lowest person in C tier. The only reason why I'm putting him in C tier is just by the fact that he used to be so generous. But nowadays he's just really greedy, so I think he's the lowest spot on the C tier. He was very close to staying in that D tier. Okay, Sandy. Sandy is a very likable character in SpongeBob. She always helps everyone, you know. She never really does anything bad, you know. Overall, she's just a good person. And she's also very interesting, too. Like, a lot of people really like Sandy, and I like Sandy, too, honestly. She's a really interesting character. I think she deserves to go with Plankton, honestly. She's just really interesting to me. And I just think she's a good character in general. Okay, so we got Larry the Lobster. He's kind of a side/main character, but I guess you could still say he's a main character. I mean, we do see him quite a bit. We do see him a few amount of times, you know. We don't see him always. We don't always see this freaking Red Lobster guy, but yeah. What do I think of him, though? I'm actually going to put him in D tier. You know why? Because there's not really anything special about him. I mean, he's just that one guy at the beach that, you know, likes to show off his muscles and save people and think that they're so heroic, but it's not like the most heroic thing ever, though. I mean, come on. I'm just saying, okay? Also, even though he has a lot of muscle in him, I don't think he could actually fight someone. Because I feel like on the inside he's actually really soft, and he would actually just let someone take him down or something. Like I'm pretty sure it's just for show off. Like I'm pretty sure he just likes to show off his muscles, you know. And that's about really all he does with the muscles. He just shows them off, and he just wants to be buffed to show it off. So overall, there's not really much to go on with him. He's not very interesting either. We don't really know much about him either, honestly. Also, there was this one episode where we saw his parents, but his parents look nothing like him either, so maybe he was adopted? I'm not sure. But overall, he's just not interesting to me. He's not very interesting to me, so I think he deserves a D tier, in my opinion. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that like him, but personally, I just don't like him that much. Okay, we got Karen. Karen, I actually like Karen. She can be pretty interesting. And here's the thing. She's a robot, but like she has actual like feelings and emotions, you know? Which is very interesting about her, because most of the robots in Bikini Bottom don't even have emotions, you know? And overall, I just think Karen's a good character in general. I mean, that's really all I would have to say about her. I mean, She's kind of underrated, honestly. I feel like she's pretty interesting, honestly. And sometimes she can kind of be a foil for Plankton, even though they're in a relationship. But here's the thing, Plankton, why do you date a robot? Like, that's kind of weird, but whatever, I guess. Okay, so we got Mermaid Man. Mermaid Man, I think he deserves to be above everyone else in C tier just because he was a warrior and he fought crime, and he was overall just a good person. I mean, now he's old and he can't really do much though, which kind of sucks. But hey, he fought crime and he did his thing. Is there really anything I like about him though? I mean, I don't really think there's anything interesting about him, in my opinion. Besides the fact that he's a superhero. And he's honestly showed a lot in the show. But that's about it. I don't really have anything else to say about him. Also, I'm pretty sure he originally lived on the surface because he's a human, right? So yeah, he used to live on the surface, but I guess he just got so used to underwater to the point where he just lived down there. Hey, at least he gets infinite water. Okay, anyways, let's move on to the next character. Pearl. Okay, Pearl. Where do I put Pearl? I think I should put Pearl in, B tier. Okay, look. I think Pearl is a pretty good character. It's kind of nice to see episodes that feature her in it because overall she's a pretty fun character. But here's the thing. I mean, the only thing she really ever does is just be an average teenage girl who talks to boys. And also, okay, look. And also, how in the world is Mr. Krabs a father to a whale daughter? That doesn't make any sense. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. Like, that's just kind of weird, but, whatever, I won't judge it. But overall, there's not really too much to go on with Pearl's personality. Her personality can be kind of one-dimensional sometimes, but most of the time her personality isn't super boring, so she's just like an average teenage girl. That's really about all I could say about her personality. It's not too one-dimensional, but it's sometimes sometimes it can be kind of one-dimensional. But overall, I think she's a B tier character. I like her. Okay, we got SpongeBob's dad, and he's fine. I mean, and also I'm gonna put his mother in the same tier too because they're just SpongeBob's parents. I mean, there's nothing really interesting I could say about them. I mean, we don't really see them that much either in the show. So, I think they're probably just adorable and average people, probably. Just doing their thing as a couple. You know? I feel like I think I could say the same thing as the grandma. Okay, I think the grandma's fine too. I mean, not really much to go on with her either. I think all of SpongeBob's relatives deserve to be in the E tier just because we don't really see them that often, and when we see them, they just seem like average people, so I'm putting them in E. Okay, Patchy, I mean, Okay, Patchy isn't really a main character, but I think I'll put him in, like, A tier. The dude's a legend, okay? He's the biggest fan of SpongeBob, okay? And you gotta respect that dedication to SpongeBob. I mean, like, that man is really dedicated to SpongeBob. Okay, so we got Barnacle Boy. Where's Barnacle Boy deserve to go? Okay, I actually think he's a lot less interesting than Mermaid Man. Sure, he protected the sea and basically did everything that Mermaid Man do, except I'm pretty sure Mermaid Man did basically everything better than him. But here's the thing about him. he's kind of, like, when we see him in the episodes, he's kind of grumpy, you know? Also, just looking at him in this photo, he just looks grumpy. Also, why is his nose bigger than Squidward's? Like, what the hell? Like, everyone talks about Squidward's weird nose, but what about his nose? Like, do you see how big his nose is? Like, what the hell? Like, what the actual hell, man? Yeah, but overall, I don't think he's that interesting either. I think Mermaid Man's a lot more interesting to me. But there's just the fact that Barnacle Boy's a lot grumpier than Mermaid Man and kind of less positive, too. I think he deserves to be in D tier, because he's not really that much more interesting, but he's also pretty grumpy compared to Mermaid Man. You know? And he's also not that different compared to him. So, I think this is a good Spongebob tier list, honestly. I don't think I'd really want to change anything about it, honestly. I think I like it. Okay, so, hope you guys enjoy this tier list, and hopefully you guys don't straight up just go to the comments and say that this tier list sucks and my opinions are trash, because here's the thing, Buckaroo. It's an opinion. Okay, it's my opinion. So don't go in the comments and just go shit on my own opinion, okay? Like, come on, man. It's just an opinion. Like, come on. If you don't like it, then just don't watch the video if you don't like the opinion. God. Okay, well, anyways, I'll see you guys later. Okay? Bye.